In an editorial piece, the Kansas City Star is now calling for serious action to be taken against Davante Adams after the Raiders wideout shoved a member of the media Monday night. The editorial board writes, quote, anything less than a multi-game suspension and a hefty fine is unacceptable. Employees, fans, players, and team personnel must be protected from violence in the workplace. Credentialed media have a job to do, and that includes filming or photographing players, even those salty about losing a close game. Shannon, what's your reaction to this idea?
Shut up, Kansas City Star, Telegram, or whatever it is, editorial board. Shut up. I get it. Kansas City and the Raiders are bitter rivals. Have been since the 1960s.
So you think this is about rivalry?
Yeah, that's what this is about. Because what did it say, Skip? Even if you're salty. When is the last time you ever heard somebody write like that? Of course not. Look, I get it. It's an opinion piece that goes way too far. Anything less than a multi-game suspension and a hefty fine is unacceptable. I get it. Davante was wrong. And as soon as he did it, Skip, he got stepped to the podium and realized that, I was wrong. I want to apologize. I hope he sees this. He was wrong. He admitted he was wrong. Shouldn't have done it. But they making it seem like the man killed him. And stop it. Okay, he's going to pay a fine. He's going to get a fine. He's going to get a lawsuit filed against him, and he's going to pay after. He's going to settle the lawsuit. But this notion that anything less than a multi-game suspension and a hefty fine, stop this. This doesn't warrant that. I get it. I must be protected. Stop. You know what? That's not what I really wanted to say, but hey, I get it. I get it. It's not a good look for NFL players to shove credentialed or anybody outside of the field of play, even on the field of play, especially now that jackleg that ran on the field here in San Francisco, that's something entirely different. We get that. But to shove a personnel because you're upset because you lost the game or how the game played out is unacceptable. But they went too far with this.
And I thought the Kansas City Star editorial board made some compelling points that I had not wrapped my head around because I've been covering your game since 1974, and I accept that it's a very violent game on the field, but once you leave the field of play, where jacklegs cannot intrude, once you're going up the tunnel and away from the football field, you need to be treated like anybody else would be treated out in the streets. The law should apply to you also.
They do.
And they did cite precedent, MLB precedent, because they talked about the Kenny Rogers situation, which happened back in 2005. But he was suspended 20 games, reduced on appeal to 13, and fined $50,000 for shoving two cameramen. So that's MLB precedent. And as they point out, we saw this one with our own eyes because it was captured on video. We keep talking about the Draymond situation. And as they say, the two-handed shove by Adams was an act of violence. Well, it was.
Well, they cited him. They cited him for assault.
Okay, but they go on to say that it was fortunate that this photo crew member didn't suffer a major injury. And by all accounts, they were very minor, if that. But again, they're saying he was carrying his equipment and he was pushed and fell backward and could have been seriously hurt. I'll buy that. I think he could have been, because Davante he's a beast to me. And if he shoves with all his might and you're not ready for it and he gets you with both hands in the chest, you're going to fly backwards.
You're going to fall down,
and it was fortunate. Again, I don't know how bad he's hurt, but they said he might have had a mild concussion or whatever. I don't know. It's impossible for me to know. But I don't think there were major injuries, and there could have been. So the lesson here for everybody involved, NFL players, baseball players, basketball players, is once you leave your field or court of play, you're back to being a citizen.
You're a private citizen. You're no longer a combatant.
Okay.
So you have to turn that switch off, Skip.
Yeah, and it's hard to turn it off.
It is.
Because
the emotions are still running high. The game is, what do you say? The game was, a minute over, 2 minutes after the game?
If it was he'd already gone over and thrown his helmet into the...
So now that was what, with 41 seconds. Okay, they run a play. Okay, now it starts. So he's walking. So a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes tops.
So they conclude, we get it. Football is a tough and violent sport, but it doesn't excuse a violent act. Okay. I buy this.
Yes.
And there is a message to this.
Who excused it? Who said that Davante shouldn't be punished? He's going to get punished with a lawsuit. He's going to have, this is a simple assault charge. He'll probably plead it down to no contest, pay a fine, what is that, community service.
Yeah, no, I got it. This is the most extreme example I could ever use, but back in the gladiator days, the Roman Empire days, they kept the gladiators during the week locked up. They had to keep them caged up, and they treated them great because they were probably going to die pretty soon.
Yes.
The mouths of the lions.
Yeah.
But the point is, they kept them away from the public because they didn't think they could operate, that they couldn't actually live in the public because they live in violence, right?
Yes.
So your sport requires you to flip a switch that's hard to flip, man, especially within a couple of minutes, especially with your uniform still on before you've gone up to your locker and taken it off.
Yeah, sometimes you have to take that uniform off, especially when you go out in public. You definitely got to take that uniform off. But yeah, Skip, look, I think they went too far. They're trying to make it seem like the guy pulled out, pistol whipped the guy, hit the guy over the head with a blackjack or a crowbar or something like that. Stop it.
Yeah, no, I got it. If the Las Vegas paper had written this, you'd say, okay, maybe it has more credibility because it wouldn't be an arch rival situation. Right?
If they know USA Today want to write this or some other type of paper want to write this, okay, that's what you want to do. But I'm looking at you guys. I already know. That's something they would have wrote. If it was the Broncos, they'd have wrote the same thing. If it was the Chargers, because
Yeah, I got it.
Davante's court date coming up in November, gentlemen. Plenty of time for more developments between now and then. Will the Bills take down the Chiefs this Sunday? Skip and Shannon unpack that one when we come back right here on Undisputed.